Well, I have a friend, he's a DJ, and we talked about Berlin. We probably talk about it more. And he takes a lot of drugs. And he knows let's put it that way, he knows his drugs. And one day he said to me when I was trying to figure out what I would write about next, he said the Nazis took a lot of drugs, you should write about that. And I said, the Nazis didn't take drugs. Because, when you grow up in Germany, you get educated about the Nazis quite intensely, especially in West Germany. Like they teach you everything, but they don't teach you drugs. I mean, now they do, maybe, but it was not known. So, and the Nazis always had this aura of being law and order, no drugs, of course, no chaos, everything. My grandfather, he was a Nazi, always said, well, at least there was discipline in the country, there was law and order. So this doesn't match with drugs,
I should also say, I think that's the experience for a lot of people. Before reading your book, I had the same kind of feeling that the Nazi ideology was all about like law and order and purity, and surely they would not be doing drugs. So this really blew my mind. I think I wasn't quite ready, similar to like Richard Evans, like this is a big, like, okay, a narrative transforming into a deeper, more complicated understanding what Nazi forces and the Hitler Inner Circle actually look like.
That's why I didn't believe Alex.
Always take the DJ, the drug expert, with a grain of salt.
I didn't believe him, but I said it's a great topic. Maybe I could invent it. He said, no, you don't invent this. This is real. I said, how do you know? And he said, I have a friend and I know this guy by now. I met him. He's an antique dealer in Berlin, and he had bought an old medicine chest in an old Berlin apartment. This was in 2010. And he found Pervitin tablets inside, which were the methamphetamine product that was marketed in Germany in the late 30s. And this guy, the antique dealer, took some tablets, and they were quite old, 70 years old, but they still had an effect on him. And I later asked him, and he said, well, we took them for about a month. It was the greatest month we ever had. Like, we had so much fun. We were so productive. Yeah. Because that methamphetamine back then was also like a quality product. It was not crystal meth made in a trailer lab.
So this is many decades later.
They were still potent.
They were still potent.
Especially Alex convinced me, because Alex has a high tolerance. And he said, okay, they still had some. So I said to him, can I have some also? And I took one. And he's like, we were standing in my writing tower, which is at the river in Berlin. And he was like, I took one. And I could feel something. Then I took another one. And then it's, I could feel more. And then I took a third one. It's like typical Alex. He would like take three, instead of just taking one. He took 3 methamphetamine tablets from the 40s. And he said, and then I felt like, and he looked at the river, and there was a big ship, like a cargo ship going by. And he said, I felt like this ship, suddenly there was a Schub, he said in German, like a motion that was like energy that was grabbing me. And I felt so powerful. And he told me this, and I was like, wow, this is like, and I Googled like methamphetamine, Nazi Germany. This was in 2010. And there was this one professor at the university in Ulm who said the Blitzkrieg was only possible because of methamphetamine. So I called up this guy, and he said, sure, I'll meet you. And then he gave me the signature for the archive. And then I went to the archive, and then I really started to do my own research. And then I went to different archives, and I tried to find everything on Nazis and drugs. And everything is in the book. So that crazy meeting with Alex in my writing tower, that kind of got me on this research journey.